Hello, fuckos, and welcome to this, a late episode 53 of the Chris Hunter Comedy Podcast with me, Chris Hunter. Hello, how are you doing? Are you well? Have you had a nice fortnight? I've had a pretty nice fortnight. Unfortunately, last week, I completely forgot about the podcast. Or did I? I can't remember. Whatever I said in the tweet, that's what happened. And then, same thing happened again this week. I was lying in bed. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I just thought, shit, I've not done the bloody podcast. Well, here I am, fuckos, on a Wednesday, like a trooper. How's it going? Are you all good? I've been busy as always, busier than normal recently, which is a good thing. It's always good to keep busy. Stops you dying young, you see, if you're busy all the time. The moment I give up, the moment to die. That's what I say as a pensioner in the future. So yeah, I did the usual stuff. Last week I went to the lovely, fantastic cafe at the end of the universe and Dark Side of the Spoon on Saturday. It was St. Paddy's Day last week, so I had the look of the Irish burger, which was so nice. It had like Irish stout sauce and mushrooms and it were a good burger. It's kind of hard to remember now because it was a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, I had that. It was good. I had a Baby Ruth cheesecake. I think that's what it was, and that was really nice, like American candy bar style cheesecake. Very nice. Oh, I've got hiccups. Hang on a minute. Sorry, I've just devoured some food, you see. So, because I'm in a rush today, I pretty much wolfed it in again. And then, obviously, I went there this week. I had myself the Big Easy because it was fucking delicious. They've got a new menu, and the Big Easy is one of the new menu things. And it's like a double chicken burger with hash brown and sauces and all the good stuff. It was bloody good. And a Parma Violet cheesecake. I've never had Parma Violet cheesecake before. I love Parma Violets. And this is a really nice, subtle cheesecake. It was super tasty. You might remember last episode, I was talking about the they be. Remember that they be, the gender-neutral baby? Well, I was trying to figure out what the they be would call its parents if they're also gender-neutral. Because you can't say mum, you can't say dad, you can't say it, because it's just rude. So what would you say? And Charlie heard that, and she just said, you an idiot. What you'd say is parent. It's right there in the fucking title. And you know what? I can't even argue that. Parent is a gender-neutral term. So, I guess parent 1 and parent 2, I don't know. You know, it's not going to be an easy life for that kid either way. But who am I to judge? Who am I to try and control? You do what you want, boo. You do you, boo. So I have cloggy throat. I've been playing Sekiro. Have any of you guys played it yet? It is fantastic. It's called Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. It is by the creators of the Dark Souls and Demon Souls series of games, which are famous for being brutally frickin' hard. And good news, folks, Sekiro is even harder. But it's set in feudal Japan, which is my favourite possible art setting. And it's a bloody good game. It is hard as shit if that shit has been frozen and then left to float in space for several years before crashing back to Earth as a meteorite. That is how hard this game is. But it's so rewarding. You know, if you're stuck in a bit like I am at the moment and you've attempted to beat this boss, I don't know how many times now, but it's literally hours. I know it feels great when you finally beat them because I've done it before to similar ones in the game, like smaller bosses and other things. And it's just great. You feel accomplished. It's something that a lot of games don't seem to have these days. You know, you just blast through them, and before you know it, poof, it's done. It's done, you know. You don't even know what you did, but you know you did it. And that's not really enjoyable. It's not really memorable. I like games that make you remember, you know, the feeling of success or the pain of defeat. The sacred sacrifices of trying your best and having it just shat all over you. So yeah, I highly recommend that game to anybody who plays games. Like I said, it's really, really hard though, but you know, you'll enjoy it. I was lying in bed, ladies. I was watching my tablet, which I do every night. As I lie in bed, I watch YouTube or Netflix or whatever. And I was on Netflix, and it was on the homepage. And now, you know, everybody's got a unique homepage. The only thing that is the same on everybody's pretty much is trending. You know, trending on Netflix. What is popular at the moment on Netflix? Well, I saw that and I noticed, hey, Ricky Gervais has got 3 shows in a row pretty much on this screen right now. So I took a photo of it and I tweeted Ricky Gervais and I just said, you know, well done to Ricky for having 3 shows trending on Netflix. Bravo, sir. And then I realised there was actually 4 shows, just one was on the next page. So I said, actually, it's 4. But anyway, thought nothing of it. And then, like a few minutes later, my phone buzzes and I look, and it says, oh, Ricky Gervais has liked your tweet. Your tweet. I was like, whoa, cool. That's awesome. I like Ricky. That's a nice thing to happen. And then it says, Ricky Gervais replied. I was like, oh, that is cool. He said, wow. And then he'd retweeted it, and my phone would not shut up for the next 2 days because he retweeted it. Obviously, he's got a few followers. Some people have heard of Old Richard. And that tweet now has been seen by 226,742 motherfuckers around the world. And that's awesome. I mean, obviously, it doesn't matter per se, you know, it's just nice to have something that's been seen by a few people, you know. And I was kind of hoping maybe one person, maybe 2 would follow me or something from it. That's not why I did it, obviously, but when I started to see the numbers come in, I thought, oh, well, you never know, this might pan out well for me. Of course it didn't, but that's fine. I don't need it to. I was just glad to see that there's so many people who have the same kind of feeling of support for fellow comedians. It's nice. But yeah, have you watched Afterlife yet, guys? The Ricky Gervais show that's on Netflix. This is the newest one. I really enjoyed it. It's a bit dark. It's also hilarious. So, you know, it's got a really interesting balance between the two. Normally in a show, I find it's normally fairly upbeat majority of the time with the occasional downer. This show is kind of the opposite, except it's consistently, it's hard to describe. I think it's the premise is a downer. The actual, the premise is a downer, but the actual execution of it is done in such a way that it's constantly, like, you never feel like, oh, I should turn this off, I'm feeling down. It's never like that, ever. You feel down on behalf of the character. You empathise with them a little bit, but there's always a little something going on at some point that just perks it back up a little bit, so you keep watching and feeling okay. And it's a really good show. I really, really enjoyed it. And yeah, it was great. Go watch it. It's called it's called Afterlife, I think. Afterlife on Netflix. I highly recommend it. I've been trying to get back into my Japanese studies. You guys know I'm always struggling with learning my Japanese, trying to come up with new ways all the time to learn it, ways that are easier for me to digest, and in the time frame that I have, and in the amount of attention span that I have, because I'm busy all the time at the moment. So I need to do things in little bursts. So I started playing Pokemon Y in Japanese yesterday again. I mean, I already started it months ago, but then I didn't touch it. Did it for one day, didn't touch it. So the reason I did Pokemon Y is because the English version of the game has a Japanese language option. Everything from Y onwards has got a Japanese language option. So I did that, and I sit there and I put the game on. I sit with a notepad. I play the game. If something comes up that I don't understand, which is most things at the moment, then if I think it's an important sentence or something I'll see quite often. For example, one of them yesterday was Chico acquired a potion. Just something simple like that, but that's the kind of thing you'd see all the fucking time in video games. So that's why I wanted to write that one down. So I did. I wrote it down. I wrote down all the kanji and all the fancy stuff and what it means. And then I put it into my flashcards so I can be practicing them. And that's what I'm going to keep doing. And you know what? It's fun. It's learning, but it's fun because you're playing a game. You feel a sense of achievement. It's almost like playing a game in real life. You've unlocked a new word. This word is whatever the word was, which I've already forgot because I only learned it yesterday. But that's the point of flashcards, is they slowly help it sink into your long-term memory. And that's what I want to happen. Because thinking about it, if I'm going to work in the games industry in Japan, I need to know a metric shit ton of Japanese words that are used in games quite often, like potion and acquire. You know what I mean? So they're really important words for me to learn. So I should learn them even better. In fact, I took the plunge yet again today, and I set my phone to Japanese, which I've done before. Last time I did it before we went on holiday. And I was quite happy with how I was doing with it because I was learning some things from it. But I had to change it back to English when we actually went to Japan, ironically, because I thought I'm not going to get lost in a foreign city and have, not much help from my phone because it's set in bloody Japanese. The point of me being lost is because I don't understand feckin' Japanese. So that's when I changed it back to English. And then when I got home, I just didn't change it back again, which I meant to. Slap on the wrist for me. But hey, I did it today. So now I'm taking the plunge again. So yeah, if any of you guys got any tips for learning Japanese, any fun things, or any games you suggest playing that have Japanese language options, let me know. Speaking of Japanese stuff, I actually finished watching Terrace House Opening New Doors yesterday. After so long, 49 episodes. It is such a good show. Oh my god, guys. You need to go watch it. If you don't already watch Terrace House on Netflix, go and watch it. This one was called Terrace House Opening New Doors. It's the newest one. There's 3 on Netflix, I believe. 3 seasons of Terrace House. There is Terrace House Boys and Girls in the City, which is set in Tokyo. There is Terrace House Aloha State. Have a guess where that's set. Hawaii, bitch. And then there is Terrace House Opening New Doors, which is set in a really, really picturesque location called Karuizawa, which is absolutely beautiful. And one of my friends is going there soon. I'm so happy for him because it's a fucking nice place. But yeah, so watch it. It's so good. It's weird. It's kind of like, I think I've talked about it before, but whatever. It's kind of like if Big Brother wasn't shit and full of knobheads, it'd be Terrace House. So, you know, it's nice people meeting each other, getting along. Maybe some of them trying to form relationships, some of them just forming friendships. It's just a nice show. And they go out to locations and you get to see how the other half of the world lives. And it's so nice. I love it. It's a calming show, apart from when there's the occasional bit of drama. But even then, it's not fabricated drama like it would be on, you know, American or English TV shows. It's definitely nothing like, you know, Towie or bloody Chelsea or whatever that bollocks is. None of that gubbins. It's just a good show. Yeah, so sadly we finished Opening New Doors last night, but there is a new season coming this year and next year because they're quite long. It's going to cross over. This time it's going back to Tokyo. I'm assuming because next year is the Tokyo Olympics, so they're probably going to track people doing Olympic-based things. I don't know, but that would be a good idea. If I was in charge of that show, I would say yes, send our folks out. Send them to the Olympic Village, send them to the Olympic Countdown Clock, which I've been to in the Government Metropolitan Building, I'll have you know. Yeah, so that'd be good. I would like that very much. So it means that me and Charlie have started watching Boys and Girls in the City, which is the other Tokyo series. The problem is this is a really short one. It's like 14 episodes. And dude, when you just come from 49 episodes or something, 14 is like a friggin' trailer for it. So anyway, that means that once we finish that, we'll be able to get back into Game of Thrones in preparation for the new season, which we will watch, we will absorb, we will laugh, we will cry, we will feel good, we will feel bad. That is the power of Game of Motherfucking Thrones. And I really, really enjoy that series, to the point where we binged 7 seasons of it before the last season came out. Because I'd heard so much about it. I'd never seen an episode, but the new season was coming out, and I thought, you know what? Now is the time to join the Game of Thrones revolution. And I did hard. It was brilliant. Such a good show. But the problem is, when you deep dive a show like that, it becomes not like everything, but you know what I mean? It becomes something that you think about quite frequently. The references that you make become about the show, and you know, all that kind of stuff. So then when it's gone, it feels like somebody's lobbed off your calf muscle. And you're like, shit, that something feels weird. Like, I know I'm still whole, but something's missing. You know, it's that kind of thing. Although, granted, you wouldn't be whole if you were missing a calf. But you know what I mean. I'm not great at analogies. I've got a full tummy. That means I'm sleepy. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that coming back. It's going to be good. We have some of those Now TV. You know, you get those free 3-month trial things sometimes. We've got a few of them, so we're going to use them to watch Game of Thrones, which I think is a genius idea, if I do say so myself. Which I do. So, there you go. That's genius. Now, I saw something. Let me see. Which way around am I doing this? Yeah, there was a thing last week, which luckily came and went super quick because people are idiots. But there were people bitching online about J.K. Rowling not including gay love scenes and things like that in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, because she was talking about how Grindelwald and Dumbledore had intense love affairs, you know, during that kind of time period. And people are bitching at her on Twitter, like, well, why didn't you include that in the film? It's like, are you fucking serious? Does it look like they're ready to be canoodling in the film? Is it anything to do with that? It's just, you know, people jumping on stuff because they're like, oh, you should represent more gay love scenes in films. Yeah, I get that. I completely agree. There's an underrepresentation of stuff like that. That's fine. But this isn't the film for it. This isn't about Dumbledore and Grindelwald's loving relationship. This is about the fact that one of them is about to become fucking Wizard Hitler. And how can we stop that happening? So, you know, strap on your gender neutral jeans and shut up. Because it's frustrating when people, like, granted this is a mild case of it, but you get stuff like this online all the time at the moment, of people just bitching because this isn't represented, or ooh, that offends this group of people, or ooh, that offends that group of people. It doesn't matter if you get offended by something. You know, it's up to you to be offended by something. 98% of the time, I'm guessing, approximations here, folks, approximately 98% of the time, surely what somebody is saying is not aimed at you, the listener or the viewer or the reader, whatever the medium is, it's not aimed at you. So if you're offended by it, that is on you to be offended by it. They are just saying it as a general statement. They're just saying it as a general terms. And if you're offended by it, then fair enough, you're allowed to be offended by it. There's nothing wrong with being offended by it. There is something wrong with trying to get that person sacked or trying to get them in trouble because you're offended by it. Does that make sense? Am I being clear about that? Like, I don't understand why people expect other people to, you know, resign or apologize or whatever it is because you were offended by a comment or a tweet or whatever it was, especially when it's stupid shit like the Kevin Hart things with the Oscars. You know, I know I've already spoke about it, but it really pissed me off. You know, things from years ago that were part of a comedy routine and taken out of context. Of course, that shit isn't going to be, it's not going to seem like a joke when you just see a tweet because it's not, you know, it's not in context. It's not in the set. It's not where it should be to be at its funniest. And it's frustrating people try and get people sacked for shit like that, you know? It's stupid. It's fucking stupid. But yeah, anyway, I have faith in the youth of today to be able to turn this around, become less of a snowflake nation and start thinking like people, just thinking. By the way, speaking of young people and such, I got the pictures today from when I did that talk at the university. You know, I said recently I was going to go do a talk. I'll show the youth what they're missing out on in life. So yeah, it was nice. It was a really good talk. I really enjoyed doing it. And yeah, I got the pictures today from the talk itself. And oh, fucking hell. You know, I look like a right bloody state, which I'm not normally bothered about stuff like that, but it just made me giggle because, and I might sneeze in a minute. Oh, it made me giggle because when I was doing the talk, a photographer came in who was, I think he's from the uni or something, I don't know. But anyway, he came in and he was loitering for a bit, just sort of hanging about. And I thought, is he going to take some pictures? Like, what's he doing? And then, like, mid-sentence, or, you know, in a gap between sentences or whatever, he appeared in front of me and said, right, come on. I was like, what? And he took a picture of me. And that was it. That was the one picture he took, and he left. I didn't expect that. I thought he'd be taking a picture of me doing a talk, since that's what I was there to do. But instead, he took like a mugshot of me. So I got this picture today. Hang on, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so he took the picture of me, and I saw it today, and oh my God, I look like a right tubster. Oh, cheeky needs to lose a few, which I already know is the case. By the way, we went to the gym last week. Did I tell you? We were there. And Charlie was saying, you know, since we're easing back into it, let's just do 15 minutes on the bikes, 15 minutes on the treadmill, and then head home. You know, it was like a first time back, because we haven't been this year at all. We haven't been since October, I think. Runny nose now. Yeah, so we just need to ease back into it. So she was doing that, and then she said, actually, you know what? I want to be able to cycle to go get a scone from the nearby garden centre. She didn't word it that way, but I'm abbreviating for you folks. Yeah, she said, I want to get a scone from there. But the problem is, I want to cycle there, but it's 12k away, 12 kilometres, and I didn't think that. I thought it was way closer than that. So anyway, she says, so we should try and aim for 12k on the bikes. I was like, okay, you crazy bitch, we can try it. So we're pedaling away, and about 6 minutes in, I am fooked. I've been going at like 75 RPM. Charlie's been going about 50. So she knows the whole thing about marathon versus sprint. Whereas in my head, I like friggin' Sonic. Gotta go fast. So I'm just cycling away like a madman. And I'm ready to die. But fast forward to 24 minutes. I actually managed it. I was quite proud of myself. I did just over 12 kilometres on the bike. And I know it's not the same before you people start writing in. I know it's not the same as being on a real bike and there's hills and slopes and dogs you got to watch out for. I know. I'm just saying I was proud of my accomplishment in the gym for wanting to give up at 5 minutes in. I'm making it to 24 on a bike. By the way, it was so funny. I got off the bike and I wanted to go over to the treadmill just to do a little cool down, you know, just to walk it off. But I couldn't get off the bike. I started getting cramp in my calf. and I didn't let it happen. But you know when it's about to, and you're like, oh no, can't go in that angle. That angle will make cramps. I don't want cramps. So I was very, very carefully took my leg out the stand thing, and I stood up and stepped off the bike, and oh my god, my thighs, my hamstrings, my calf, my shins, everything was super tight. 'Cause, it was knackered, and I dropped my bloody wallet because I knocked it off the bike, and I bent down to pick it up, and rather than bending, like I tried to bend at the knees because I was, everything was locked up. Rather than bending, I kind of folded. It was really weird. Like, if you see robots where they kind of move like with snappy motions, that's what my legs did. Kind of snapped down, and then I thought, oh shit, I'm going to fall over, but I didn't. I snapped back up. And then I tried to go to walk to the treadmill, and I couldn't walk. I literally couldn't take an actual step. I had to shuffle like a pensioner collecting my freaking pension. I had to shuffle my way over to the friggin' treadmill. Then I had to very gingerly step up on it and walk super slowly just to get my legs moving again. I did attempt to jog for like 3 seconds, and I was like, nope, that ain't happening. My legs are like jelly. So that didn't happen. But it was nice to be back at the gym. I plan to be back there soon, but this week has been very busy. As I say, I'm always bloody busy. But, you've got to make time for fun sometimes. I've been told that. And this last weekend really helped, because this weekend I was supposed to do a bunch of work. I didn't get a chance to do any, but I did play a lot of that Sekiro, which under Charlie's orders, she was saying, look, you need to have some time off. You work too hard. Play some games. I want to see some serious hours go into this game. And I thought, you know what? From your point of view, if it looks that way, then it must be true. Because when you're in the mix, you don't realise you're working however hard you're working or however hard you're not working. You just feel like you're doing X amount. So when somebody else sees it and they say, calm it down, that's when you calm it down. And I'm kind of glad you said that, because I had a sore wrist. Like, every now and again I'll get a sore wrist for a few days from doing work. The work I do, it's on computers all the time. I click very quickly and very often, so I'll get carpal tunnel type stuff happening all the time. So I said to her, yeah, I agree, okay, I'll do that. So I had like the weekend off basically. I was doing housework and stuff, but other than that I had the weekend off. And I'm really glad I did, because my wrist felt a lot better on Monday. I'd give it the rest it needed. And that means this week I've been able to perform pretty well at work. I've been quite proud of the work I'm doing. I feel good about it. And overall, that weekend off has helped me a lot, I think. It's helped me reevaluate some things as well. And it's going well. I think at the moment, life is going well. It's soon going to go better. But right now, it's going well. And that's all you can ask for. That's all anybody can ask for. Know what I mean? So, folks, I want to thank you for listening today. I appreciate you. Do you appreciate me? If you guys have any questions or you want to say anything to me, please send me a message on any of my social medias. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all of which I'm on Chris Hunter Comedy, apart from Twitter, where I'm at Chris Hunter Com, short for comedy. And also, please, 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 do me a favour. Right, if you're listening now, do me a favour. Rate the podcast on iTunes. Give it a 5-star if you want, and leave a little review, or wherever you listen to podcasts, because it really helps me. It helps people see the podcast, and I want this to go as far as it can. I really, truly appreciate any of you helping, even if it means sharing a tweet when I send out the podcast about the episode and stuff. You know what I mean? So I deeply appreciate that. I deeply appreciate all of you individually. I would name you all, but I can't remember everybody's names because I'm not a bloody wizard. So thanks a lot for listening, folks. I will see all you beautiful barstools next week, so long as I don't forget. Bye-bye now.